Well, it is time for us to get back to making sure that we kickstart your day. Welcome on board to Smart Means Business, and it's a Friday. And really thanking God for this particular one that we are finally coming to the end of the week. Yoram Paul Sonko.
And Rita Kawanyoro. A happy 18th of March, and also happy birthday to everyone who was born on this particular day. We're here to make sure you keep up to speed with the business information and also advising you on how you can particularly make money for this particular day. A lot is going to be coming your way to begin with.
And we'll be looking at the Uganda-China relations in today's show. And also, we shall be looking at the coffee value chain, among many things, where Siatini Uganda plus key stakeholders and the farmers had a dialogue to digest matters on how the exports of coffee in Uganda can increase, as well as improving the quality of the coffee that we export or that we grow in the country. And in today's SMB Insight, we take a look back at the insight regarding saving for investment, why you need to save for investment, very crucial topic, and among which we shall also be looking at the SMB across borders.
And across borders, we take a look out for what is happening outside the continent, Africa as a continent, and also inside the continent away from Uganda. Also, not forgetting to bring to you weather forecasts or on how you will be expecting your day in regards to temperatures and weather. Not forgetting how you're going to be motivated with the business tip around here. You can continuously be a part of this particular conversation by just downloading a OTV channel, and simply downloading it on MTN could very well be favorable for you, and catch up at Smart24 TV on our social media platforms. And now let's dive into what the day Kickstarter is. And here we're going to be looking out for Uganda and China Relations, where government's partner is promoting coffee exportation to China. Now the Uganda government has partnered with the Chinese government in promoting Ugandan coffee exportation to China due to the growth of coffee consumption around that particular country. The Consulate General of the Republic of Uganda, in conjunction with the Embassy of Uganda and to Beijing and the Uganda Coffee Development Authority, held the first coffee day at the Guangzhou Jinde coffee markets in southern China virtually. Now the same function happened at the headquarters of Uganda Coffee Development Authority head offices around Lugogo, where the ambassador of the Embassy of Beijing was hosted and introduced to different brands of coffee that we've got here. Take a look at the story. We return to talk more about coffee.
Different stakeholders that include coffee farmers and traders came together to see how they can strengthen small-scale farmers and address injustices the industry faces. Brenda Katarikawe, a senior export marketing executive at the Uganda Export Promotion Board, says that one of the key things they are looking at as a channel to promote Uganda's value-added coffee in the African market, and with the fact that there is the event featured cupping and testing of the latest harvest of coffee samples of both Robusta and Arabica coffee. The coffee testing was done simultaneously in Guangzhou and Kampala, organized by Uganda Coffee Development Authority. The Chinese ambassador to the Embassy of Beijing, Guangzhou in China, said as one of the priorities of the embassy is to work with the Ugandan government to improve the import of quality coffee and other agricultural products.
To implement 9 projects. One of these 9 projects is about increasing the import of agricultural products from Uganda and other African countries. So we are working with the Uganda government to implement these projects. And so I think to increase the import of coffee and other agricultural products from Uganda is one of our priorities for the embassies. We hope to see more import of these fine quality agricultural products, including coffee. I know the coffee already being in Chinese market. We hope to see more Chinese people to be aware of this best quality coffee, best quality product in Uganda, and hope to see more people in China can enjoy this best quality coffee.
Minister of State for Foreign Affairs Okello Oryem say that the Chinese population is 1.4 billion. If only a third of that population takes a cup of coffee every day, it will be a big achievement for Uganda.
So I'm grateful for being here. The ambassador has come here to be part of the global participation and promotion of coffee. As we stand here now, the similar event is taking place in Guangzhou. I'm told that there'll be similar events taking place in other cities, in Wuhan, in Beijing, and others, similarly, to continue promoting coffee, Uganda coffee abroad. I was telling the ambassador there that there's a Chinese population of 1.4 billion. If only we can get anything up to about anything between 30 and 50 Chinese to drink a cup of coffee a day. That is 50 million cups of coffee a day. Okay, that's 100 cups of coffee of Uganda coffee. That will be a fantastic achievement, and I'm sure that the MD here will be able to achieve that in a very short time. Our position is that the decision taken, but we support the decision. They are in charge of the vehicle, in charge of managing the coffee. They know what's best for the government in terms of the promotion, or what institution we should be in or what institution we should not be in. And we rely on him to give us the technical support and decisions that where we should be. So these false accusations or people who are ignorant of the information should stop.
Thank you. The managing director of the Uganda Coffee Development Authority disclosed that they are looking at increasing exportation volumes of coffee, and with the growing coffee consumption, Uganda has invested heavily. He also assured the Uganda coffee farmers that the logistical challenges they are facing with China are being solved, and also Uganda is training fellows with the Chinese language to curb language barrier. The main objective of the event was to promote the unique quality of Ugandan coffee, which includes creating partnerships for importation and attract key players like importers, exporters, traders and dealers in coffee machinery, among others.
Yes. Fresh produce.
And that is it for China-Uganda relations in regards to the coffee sector, on how they're trying to integrate their relations to make sure as a country we export more coffee, since China has seemingly been seen or highlighted as the most, among the most intakers of our coffee here. But we were having a discussion some time back with, that is Fred Muhomo's an economist. One thing he highlighted is there is a difference of, us growing and just making relations for other countries to just take in coffee. But what should we always learn from as a country? Should it always be about the integrations being made? But how about those countries like China, countries like Germany, most of them that are intaking more coffee, to let us know on how they add value to that particular coffee. So it's not just those seeds that do the selling, and we've been highlighted as, we just do the selling of those particular seeds, coffee seeds, or the output of it. But when it comes to value addition as a country, we're still lagging behind Jerome Paul.
Exactly. But the main focus now is looking for a lot of market. Remember, after withdrawing from the International Coffee Agreement of 2007, Uganda is actually assuring the farmers that there is market for our goods outside the country. So it does not mean that we are rolling out the fact that we shall not be having the market because we withdrew from this particular one. But according to the Foreign Minister of Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Honorable Luke Oryem, he does believe that with China giving us room for this particular coffee to actually to give us market for the coffee, that if at all a third of Chinese population can easily take a cup of coffee from Uganda, or take coffee that is coming in from Uganda on a daily basis, that is a third or a quarter of China's population, then that is going to be a very good chance for Uganda's coffee and Uganda's agricultural produce to definitely grow bigger, because now we have ready market for more of these processed products as well. So clearly this partnership is to see that the Chinese can benefit and also Uganda benefits. How? Because China to give us the market and benefit from getting quality coffee from Uganda, and then for the Ugandans to benefit greatly from their sweat in terms of let's say, the farmers who deal in coffee and all that situation. So clearly, and when you look at what is actually also happening, there are a number of courses at certain universities, certain public universities, that is actually teaching Ugandans to learn Chinese for one, translation matters, and also to create business opportunities for them to actually have these relations of China and Uganda more concrete than ever. So that is why you could see that we have a number of Ugandan students studying Chinese. These are some of the students who actually help in the translation, more so during business partnerships. And that is what is actually also ongoing here, as the Ugandan farmers, most of the coffee farmers, are still looking for ready market on the international, let's say, on the international scene. And also with the African Continental Free Trade Area, we will be marketing this coffee freely on the African continent. It will actually be moving in, no trade barriers whatsoever with that. But also looking at the international market will also help our coffee exports grow bigger.
I do agree with you. And speaking about China, if we are trying to get to the greatest markets of China, just to let you know about how consumption around Chinese coffee does do fare. Chinese coffee consumption is growing on an estimated rate at around 5% annually, but coffee shops prioritize, that is Huang, saying that it is more important to take note of a huge jump outlets than cutthroat pricing. So when you realize about the store opening for specialists around coffee and tea shops, was surging around 50% in 2018 and 2019. Of course, we're not going to count 2020. Between 2020 and 2021, there has been no business around, coffee, especially for restaurants, especially for hotels, because that is the time when China has been badly hit by COVID-19 pandemic. And speaking about that, it is one of the countries that is still suffering a lot and now opting for going into lockdowns even as we speak. But away from that, also realizing that where regular sized costs around 30 yuan, that's around 4.24 US dollars in China. It can as well as be cheap relatively around 4.5, that's around 0.60 US dollars at the same prices of discount. And now let us now relate it to what is happening around the country. Sometimes you may be thinking, why should we always advertise, for international relations in regards to trade? You know why? It is high time we start embracing our own production, our own quality, our own produces, because in turn, if we are not, you can imagine how much capacity or the intakes of local coffee consumption around the country. Yes, we are producing the coffee, but we are not at the same time, Joram, embracing it that much better than the other people. For example, how many times do you take coffee in a day? We're not speaking about maybe, there is tea and there is coffee. So we have to try to differentiate between those two. Most of you maybe at home, it is hardly on a daily basis for you to just drop coffee into your cup of tea.
I need to get into a coffee business, by the way.
Into your cup of water or your cup of milk, you never know. But most people are taking tea.
But I've actually been thinking
until you want to go for cappuccino at some restaurants, hotels.
And it's quite expensive
you want to do coffee business.
I want to do some coffee business. Like coffee.
Where are you getting the inspiration?
No, I've done coffee. I've done some barista work previously.
Okay.
But also, like you said, most of the Ugandans do take tea, or some of them don't even know about the coffee thing. It is actually, it's only the generation now that is changing, that things are now becoming, people are now getting information
but
that
just
you can as well take tea.
honest, low-income earners around the country do not embrace coffee, and coffee begins more especially around middle-income class, still at 40%.
But actually, it's actually cheap.
Yes, it is. I agree. Until now, there is that scenario where you even happen to go to a hotel or a conference, but still there is coffee there. You won't pick it up. Do you
You
realize
go for
people
tea,
will
you
just
go
go
for
for
juice.
yes, for juice, for tea. So we need to start embracing it, and it's not a force. Seriously, it's not. But it depends on how your will is. That is why now government, in order to try and bridge that particular gap, we have to collaborate with governments like China, because these are I can say are a lot of consumption. The consumption rates around there is very high. So that's why they're engaging German government, the German government, China, and other countries. So for me, as I conclude on this one, Joram, let us embrace always new opportunities, because you never know what niche is there for coffee. Joram, here, good luck as you take it on. I will surely always come with my family to take up your coffee on your coffee shop.
Well, and when you look at also the situation is that generally very few Ugandans are still adopting to taking coffee. But like they normally say, is coffee is always a good idea for you when it comes to the health matters that are related to you taking coffee. So think about it greatly. And you can definitely go grab yourself a cup of coffee for the people who know the health, let's say, related positive impacts by taking coffee. You can easily tell a friend to go for coffee, because now locally the market for coffee is just growing in the last 2 years, yet it was not the case few years back, so which shows you that the growth is there steadily, and that is why also the government is pushing for various markets across the international scene. Well, with that, we do take a break. After that, we will return with the SMB Across Borders to look at the business stories that are making headlines from the global African continent and the East African Community bloc. Stick around.